Hello and welcome to another match reaction on Football Talk podcast. My name is Ozzy and I'm your host for today's show. Not the best of performances from the Reds, but they got the job done with a professional performance as they defeated Red Bull Leipzig 1-0 at the Red Bull Arena. So let's begin with a match review and I'll also discuss the key moments. I'll then present my player ratings and give you, the viewers, the platform to come on the show and have your say. So if you'd like to come on and make an appearance, a link is pinned in the live chat. I'll get you on the show after the player ratings. So let's talk about the first half. A slow start from both teams as there was no directness in terms of attacks. Red Bull Leipzig midfielder Haidara was the first one to threaten the goal as he hit a fantastic shot from the edge of the box. Good save by Kelleher. But then Kelleher has a rush of blood as he finds himself standing alongside Konate on the right side of the pitch. He tried to make a clearance with a header, but the ball doesn't go past the line. Sesko then takes advantage, tries to hit a long shot towards an open goal. Unfortunately for him, he just misses the post. Poor decision making from Kelleher, who should not have been anywhere near Konate or the ball at that stage. Then moments later, Salah has a snatch shot in front of goal and unfortunately drags it wide. Openda hits the back of the net for Red Bull Leipzig, but unfortunately he was in an offside position. Lovely strike with a left-footed finish in the top corner and also a lovely through ball from their new winger Nusa. But Liverpool eventually broke the deadlock in the 27th minute. Tsimikas hits a cross towards the far post. Salah cushions the header and tries to guide in the corner, but Darwin Núñez instinctively gets the final touch and hits the back of the net to give Liverpool the lead. Then captain Virgil van Dijk almost makes it 2-0 with a fantastic header from a corner, but a great save from Gulaxi denied the defender. Minutes later, Liverpool have a penalty shot as Darwin Núñez is brought down by Orban. VAR didn't really review the incident. It was dismissed quite instantly, which is strange, as I feel like it should have been, reviewed at least longer than 10 seconds. And after watching the replay, for me, it should have been a penalty. Now, the touch from Darwin Núñez was a heavy one, don't get me wrong. So there was no guarantee that he would get on to the end of the ball. But at that stage, I think it's irrelevant as the foul from Orban was reckless, and that's full stop. The incident should be reviewed in isolation, and the next phase should not be taken into consideration, if that makes sense. So for me, that was a crazy foul from Orban to commit in the box. And a foul is a foul. For me, that should have been a penalty. That's my thoughts on that penalty shout. Drop a comment, let me know what you guys think. Moments later, Haidara, he has another shot on goal. He was definitely on it today from long distance this time. But unfortunately, it was an easier save for Kelleher as it didn't have the same punch as it did in the previous shots. And just before half-time, Gakpo and OZWRLD produced a nice piece of play around the box, but Gakpo's shot hits the side netting. In the second half, Gakpo almost makes it 2-0 as Darwin Núñez cuts back a pass towards the danger zone. A slight mix-up between Orban and Gutruda leads to the loose ball in Gakpo's possession. He hits a snatch shot from close range, but it was blocked by Gulaxi. And then moments later, Salah has a shot from the edge of the box, but his effort goes over the bar. Great play from Gravenberch, who skipped past three players and then laid it off to Gakpo, who then presented the pass to Mohamed Salah. McAllister almost adds another goal to the tally with probably the best piece of play in the whole game. Great 1-2s and great passing between Szoboszlai and McAllister, who finds himself just outside of the box in a central position, hits a lovely curled effort towards goal. The goalkeeper was beaten. Unfortunately, his shot clips the top of the crossbar. Konate gets himself in a bit of a tangle as he loses the ball, and that allows Red Bull Leipzig to go on the attack. Xavi Simons threads the ball towards Sesko, who hits a low shot inside the box, but Kelleher produces a fantastic save. And then seconds later, Xavi Simons hits a shot from the left-hand side. Huge deflection, but Kelleher does fantastically well to tip the ball over the bar. Red Bull Leipzig thought they got the crucial equaliser as Henrichs does fantastically well to hit a low cross from the right-hand side. Openda is by the near post and he scores from close range, but for the second time, his goal is ruled out for offside. Liverpool produced another chance through Gakpo, who hits a ferocious shot from outside of the box. Good save from Galaxy in the end. Leipzig produced another huge opportunity in the 91st minute. Openda is through on goal and is in a fantastic position to shoot with his left foot, but he decides to square it to Poulsen, but his pass goes behind the player, and what a waste for opportunity there. They were offside, to be fair, but for me, that was poor decision making from the striker, who should really have taken a shot on goal, but yeah, wrong decision from him. But before the match concluded, Luis Diaz had a shot from the left-hand side, which was parried away from Galaxy, and that is the end of the match. Overall, I'm just pleased that we got the result today. We were a little bit sloppy, but showed moments of good play, especially in the second half when we brought on the likes of Diaz and those type of players on the pitch. I don't think we really left first gear today. That may have been a tactical approach to just manage the game to a certain pace and not to go all out in this sort of fixture. Because right now, in this new format of the Champions League, it's all about game results. That's 3 wins out of 3. 100% record remains intact. 9 points out of 9. So the sweet spot that I don't know, they mentioned it on BT Sports that the sweet spot for qualifying or progressing into the next round is 15 points, and we're not too far off it right now. So, at the end of the day, it's all about results in this sort of tournament. So for me, we got the result. Not hugely fussed about the performance, but hopefully, with a few days rest, not a few days rest. It's Wednesday now. We play on Sunday. And that is the main focus against Arsenal this weekend. So we get an extra day of training, and hopefully the team are in good shape to go all out for that fixture, because that is an important one for us to get over the line and for bragging rights, obviously, but also to extend our lead at the top of the table. So remains to be seen what happens. But before we end the show today, I'll present the player ratings for this game. So let's do it right now. So let's start with the goalkeeper. I actually thought he had a good game. Started off where it was a bit quiet, didn't really have to do too much. Produced a couple of routine saves, particularly from Haidara, who had a few long shots towards goal. He just had that one crazy moment where he came off the line and was stood alongside Konate like he was part of the centre-back pairing there. It was a bit wild. And he just produced such a tame effort to clear the ball. Didn't even go past the line, and then Sesko kept it in. And had it been a better shot, that could have easily been a goal. So, yeah, that was probably an error on his part. But after that, he was definitely required to be in action. Made an abundance of crucial saves. And I feel like this is one of those games where I mentioned it in my match preview. Just because they lost their opening 2 games doesn't mean they're a bad team. They faced Atletico Madrid and Juventus, who are tough opponents on any day. And I felt like looking at the squad and looking at their current Bundesliga form, they were always going to be a tricky opponent. And they've got a lot of young players in the team that have the right ingredients to present a difficult afternoon for a team like Liverpool, where they might have an extra speed on certain players, or uh, a bit of magic, or a bit of like attacking flair that we might not be able to to stop or to counter on. So this game was always going to be a tricky game for me, and I feel like Kelleher definitely stepped up, made some crucial saves. And yeah, apart from that error, I don't think he put a foot wrong, to be fair. His distribution was decent today as well. So in terms of his rating, I'm going to give him... I'll give him an 8 out of 10. Trent Alexander-Arnold, another good performance from him from a defensive point of view. From an attacking point of view, I don't think he got involved as much. But I feel like right now his sole focus is to be more of an all-round player, where he's able to defend as well as he can attack. And, he has shown great strides this season. Fantastic performance today. He had a tricky opponent in Xavi Simons, who has a lot of skill, a lot of flair, great turn of pace, and he managed him really well today. So for me, good, solid defensive performance from him. Obviously got taken off in the latter stage of the game. I think he was just being rested, and in order to manage his minutes and make sure that he's fully fit for the game against Arsenal. So for his rating today, I'm also giving him an 8 out of 10. Konate, pretty much the same as Kelleher, had a solid game throughout, but just had that one moment where it really stood out for me, where he got in a bit of a tangle and gave the ball away, and it almost led to Red Bull Leipzig equalizing. And there were plenty of moments in the game where I feel like, do you know what, if it was another team or if it was any other given day, we might have lost this fixture. That's how many chances we conceded against Red Bull Leipzig. So we had to count ourselves lucky today. But at the same time, I did feel like we were in control. It was just a moment of concentration that probably wasn't there at times, or maybe just a bit of brilliance in terms of the opposition. I wouldn't say brilliance. I just think defensively they were very well set up, and they played us on the counter. They knew what they were doing. So in terms of Konate's performance, generally he was very dominant. I don't think he lost a challenge in the air at all in this fixture. Just had that odd moment where he got in a bit of a tangle and lost the ball. But generally, very solid performance today from him. So I'll give him an 8 out of 10 as well. Bear in mind, we've kept a clean sheet, so the defenders will get a good score today. Virgil van Dijk, solid as ever. Really, really good. Didn't look like he was challenged to any shape or form. Covered his ground when required. When he was in one-on-one duels, defended very well, very dominant in the air, almost scored himself in one of the corner kicks in the first half. So yeah, very, very solid performance from Van Dijk. No real sort of negatives from him today. So I'm going to give him an 8.5 out of 10. Tsimikas had a bit of a quieter game. I don't feel like he was involved as much as you would like. He was definitely on the back foot at times due to the tactics deployed by Red Bull Leipzig. So you had Nusa occupying that right wing, and he looked like a tricky opponent. But generally, he did okay against him. Played a part in the goal in terms of the cross that led to Salah, cushioning it down and Nunes tapping it in. So he definitely played a role in that. And then in terms of his corner kicks, there were some decent deliveries there as well. So for his performance today, I'm going to give him a solid 7 out of 10. Gravenberch, I feel like he grew as the game went on. He was really good today. At the start, kept it simple, but then in the second half, I feel like he really showed his stride. Went past players effortlessly, used his physique very well. Good on the ball, wasn't very wasteful in possession today. Another top-notch performance from Gravenberch. Really impressed with him today. In terms of my rating, I'm going to have to give him a 9 out of 10. Really, really good performance yet again from the Dutchman. McAllister definitely presented calmness around that middle of the park, good passing range, almost scored a beauty. He had a good 1-2 with Szoboszlai around the edge of the box. A lovely curled effort, just clips the top of the crossbar. So unlucky. That would have been definitely the moment of the game. Generally, it was good today. He got booked for diving in the first half. I don't actually think it was a dive, but these things happen. I think with different referees from different parts of the world might view that differently from what we do. That was not a dive. There was definitely slight simulation, but I wouldn't quite label it as a dive. So he had to be a bit more cautious in terms of his tackling, because if he made one more mistake, he would have got sent off. So I feel like he kept himself composed in those sort of situations, but from an attacking point of view, good passing range, and I feel like he showed a good account of himself. So in terms of his performance, I'll give him an 8 out of 10 as well. Szoboszlai, I actually was impressed with him too. I think he did much better. Still a few moments where he gave the ball away, but generally in terms of energy levels, we don't really have to question that. Let's be honest. But his passing range was much better today. There was a few moments of play that really impressed me. So 1-2s around the box. He seems to be a bit more quicker in terms of his thinking around the box, whereas before, when he's in attacking third, he's taking too long to make that decision. Today, he just felt like he had a bit more purpose and knew what to do. So that's why he produced so many good moments around the box. He didn't really have any goal scoring opportunities today. He was pretty much a team player, working hard for the team, pressing when required. But I was pleased with his performance today. For me, it's just that he needs to put it into weight in terms of goals and assists going forward. But look, as long as he continues this effort and he continues to play in this manner where, I do feel like he's been quite wasteful of possession of the ball. That's something he needs to really improve on in terms of having a higher percentage rate when it comes to his passing. But I thought he was good today. I thought he had a decent performance today. In terms of his rating, was he as good as McAllister? I'll give him the benefit. I'll give him an 8 out of 10 on the basis that he was involved in some of the best parts of our football today. So there was a moment with Gakpo, he did a nice 1-2 around the box, and then the shot with McAllister, that was all from Szoboszlai's movement and passing and quick thinking there. So I'll give him an 8 out of 10. Feel free to drop a comment and let me know if you agree or disagree with that one. Salah, for me, had a bit of a quiet game. Wasn't very impressed with him today. Wasn't involved as much. Obviously, the goal came through Mohamed Salah, so I can't really, fault him too much because he got the end product for us there. So that's probably boosted his rating more than anything else. But I don't think he was involved a lot today. Had a quieter game than normal. Was taken off around, I think, 65th minute. So looked a bit annoyed, but it was nothing to do of his personal performance. Obviously, didn't have the best of games, but I think it was more so, let's rest him. Let's make sure we wrap him up in cotton wool so he's up and ready for the fixture against Arsenal this weekend. So in terms of his performance today, I bumped it up due to his assist. So I'm giving a 7 out of 10. It would have been lower if I'm being brutally honest. Gakpo, good performance from him today. Definitely tried to make things happen. Could have improved his shooting. He had quite a few shots towards goal. Didn't really trouble the keeper as much. But he worked hard for the team. Definitely made that left-hand side dangerous for the opposition with his runs and with his passing range. So good performance from him today. So I'll give him a 7.5 out of 10. And Darwin Núñez, I thought he had a good performance today. Not as great as the game against Chelsea. I thought Chelsea, he did everything really good. Today, I just feel like he wasn't involved as much. and that's, he got the goal. With, it's funny because one day I'm reviewing his performance and I'm saying, he's doing everything right, but he hasn't got the goal. And today he's got the goal, but he's not done everything to the standard that I saw against Chelsea, if that makes sense. So can't win with me, I guess. But good performance today, really solid. Definitely caused them a lot of issues with his speed, his directness. I think he should have got a penalty as well. I know that touch was heavy and it was probably going out of play, but to foul a player like that in that manner, you got to give it as a penalty. So, yeah, I don't know what you guys think, but I think that should have been a penalty. But in terms of his performance today, I'll give him a good rating because he got the winning goal. So I'll give him an 8 out of 10. So that is my rating of the team. Now, in terms of the man of the match, know who surprises, who that is. He's got the highest score there. Now he's Gravenberch. So for me, Gravenberch stood out once again. Really impressive performance. He just looks like a completely different player. I always knew he had this, and I'm not gonna, say that, I told you so or anything like that. But I always knew there's a player that could play in that double pivot. But he's definitely surprised me in terms of how well he's established himself, because he's practically the holding midfielder in our team, and he's made that role his own. It's not a trademark role. He's done it in a way where it suits his skill set. So he's using his speed, he's using his physique, using his dribbling ability to his advantage. So defensively, he's always been good, but now on the half turn, he's definitely able to affect the game. He's able to impact the game with his runs, and his passing's really improved as well. I think he's getting better game by game. So yeah, long may it continue. Definitely one of our best players so far this season. So yeah, so that is my ratings for the first 11. I'll also get the subs on and then discuss their ratings. So Salah got taken off for Luis Diaz. And then we also had Curtis Jones coming on for Darwin Núñez. I'll change the players and put them in their correct position very shortly, because Jones did not play up front. And then we also had Joe Gomez for Trent Alexander-Arnold. And we have Robertson for Simicast. So it ended up being where Diaz ended up playing here. So Bosla ended up playing right wing. Jones playing number 10. And Gakpo up top. So that's how it ended up looking like. Where do we start? Let's start with Luis Diaz. Yeah, he had about 25 or so minutes to play. Decent cameo. Had a couple of shots, but nothing to put me on the edge of my seat or anything to that nature. But still had a good performance, good cameo. I definitely think he'll be starting in that Arsenal game. That's why he wasn't in the lineup today. So in terms of his rating, I'll give him an average score of 6 out of 10. Jones, for me, I feel like he did a bit more in terms of on the ball in comparison to Diaz. I feel like he was pressing very well for the team. He was the first one at the front in terms of when he received the ball, good on the half turn, passing as well. Did some nice first touch passes in the latter stages. So I was impressed with his cameo when he came on. So I'll give him a solid 7 out of 10. Joe Gomez, yeah, he came in, was assured in that position, wasn't really troubled as much, to be fair. So I'll give him a 6 out of 10. Robertson, not 5, make it 6. Robertson certainly brought energy when he came on and produced some good crosses in the final third. Very unlucky not to get an assist. And I expect him to start in the Arsenal game. That's why I don't think he was in the first team lineup today. So his rating is going to be a 7 out of 10. And that is my ratings. Before we close the show, just going to go through some of the comments. I got a comment from Daz who says, "Big up Ozzy, big up Daz. Thank you for your comment." Daz also said, "Just said on BBC, Diaz, Robbo are injured." Huh? Ozzy, do you risk it if he's not fit? Jota on the bench, Nunes up top. Is that true that Robbo and Diaz are injured? Was this before or after the game? Because if this is after the game, that is terrible news. That's caught me a bit off guard. Okay. Yeah, we'll definitely have to we'll have to think of what we're doing next because that's not ideal. Okay. Would I risk Jota? Arnott mentioned that it's some sort of bruising on his upper body. I wouldn't risk him if I'm being honest. It depends on the nature of the bruising. If it's gone down and all that sort of stuff. If not, you don't risk a player because it can get aggravated if something else, God forbid, happens on the pitch. So no, I wouldn't risk Jota if I'm being honest with you. But you'll have to rejig the squad a bit because numbers are reducing now. With if that is the case that Diaz, Robertson, and Jota are available, yeah, we're gonna have to switch up a little bit. So let's see what happens. Nick, big up Nick. He says, "What's surprising is Lille defeated 2 Madrid sides in a row." Yeah, it's unbelievable. They're definitely they haven't read the script. They're just doing what they like right now. And Nick also said, "Can't wait for El Clasico and Liverpool versus Arsenal." Yep, 2 exciting games coming up this weekend. So yeah, definitely looking forward to those fixtures. That says big up to Nick. That's then big up to each other. That says, "Is it Leverkusen next Aussie?" I believe it is. Let me just double check for you. Because I know the Real Madrid game is towards the end of November. So I think Leverkusen is the next one. So yeah, that's correct. So the next game is the 5th of November, 8 p.m. And then the 27th of November is Liverpool versus Real Madrid. So 2 home ties there, which is great. And then we've got Girona, 10th of December, Lille, 21st of Jan, and PSV, 29th of Jan. So yeah, 2 more fixtures in November at home. So Leverkusen one will be interesting. They're not the same team as last season. They've definitely dropped a level, which kind of understandable when you've had such an amazing season. Real Madrid, looked like they were about to lose against Dortmund yesterday, but Heritage definitely was on show, and they came back to thrash Dortmund in the end. So I'm looking forward to that fixture. Remains to be seen what happens, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. And then that's it on the highlights. Ozzy said, yeah, let's see in terms of the team news and stuff. I'll be doing a match preview tomorrow, so I'll make sure to check all the news in terms of latest updates with regards to injuries and all that sort of stuff. And then I'll be able to present my predicted lineup. If those are players that are not available for this fixture against Arsenal, yeah, that's going to be a big blow for us. But we'll cover that tomorrow, and then we can discuss it in more detail. And that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you to Daz and Nick for your comments. Appreciate your time and the engagement always, guys. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. As I just mentioned, I'll be doing a match preview tomorrow. It will be taking place at 10 p.m. UK time. I will be joined by a special guest, so please make sure to tune in and feel free to engage and send as many comments as you like in the live chat, whether it's questions or anything related to what we're saying on the show. It's all appreciated. In terms of upcoming shows during the week, I'll be doing a live watch along of the Arsenal versus Liverpool game on Sunday. It's a 4:30 kickoff, isn't it? So I'll be live just 5-10 minutes beforehand, and I will be doing a match reaction later in the evening around 11 p.m. So yeah, it's also a calling show. So if you'd like to come on and have your say, the platform is there for you guys to do so. So that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Take care, stay safe, and I hope to speak to you all very, very soon. Goodbye.